My name is Nombulelo Bashe. I'm a first-year candidate attorney in the Labour and Employment team at Werksmans Attorneys. I maintain my work-life balance by setting priorities and non-negotiables to include in my day, my week, and my month, so that I feel I have space for myself to grow while prioritizing my career growth. I also try to be as intentional as possible with the way I spend my time, so creating time for God, myself, my friends, and my family.
Maintaining a work-life balance is quite a challenge in this environment, but what you have to do is ensure that whenever you get time, do the things that you enjoy outside of work with your friends, with your family, but also importantly, rest. So being a candidate attorney is very demanding, your days are very long. But you have to counter this by doing what makes you happy. So on the weekends, go do what you would normally do with your friends. Go to the park, go for a hike, go have some drinks with friends, or go watch some sport, maybe even make art or sleep.
So I think it's important to find something to detach from work. So for me, that's the gym. So I try to fit gym into my routine, whether that means going 3 times a week, 4 times a week, twice a week. It all depends on how busy your week is. So for me, it's the gym. That's how I detach. For other people, it might be Netflix. It all depends on you. So that's the first thing, finding something to detach from work. The second thing is your support structure. So by support structure, I mean your friends and family. So I think it's important on the weekends when you can visit friends, go out with friends, whether that's for dinner or going out somewhere, and also to visit family. So those are the 2 things that I detach from working, help me keep a balance, one, the gym, and a good support structure.
Okay, maintaining a work-life balance, I think routine is absolutely crucial. So make sure that you plan your day properly, you know what you want to do. But then also, if your work is done, go home. Don't stay here just because the lights are still on. You need to rest, so make sure that on weekends, you don't just do everything with your friends or your significant other. Make sure that you also get some time to rest. But lastly, do make time to exercise. Even if it's just going to the gym over the weekend, make sure that you just clear your head, get some fresh air. If you're a runner, go for a run, but make sure that you don't just let work consume everything that you do.
The day in the life of a CA varies quite a bit, particularly in litigation where there are timelines and deadlines, things to be drafted and research to be conducted. I work in a team with lots of different people who require different kinds of assistance every single day. So my days typically involve either going to court, serving, filing, preparing files, paginating, printing, scanning, lots of clerical work, lots of administrative work, and also drafting, doing research and writing case updates to keep abreast of legal changes.
First thing in the morning, if I am up for it, I'll go to gym, have a nice session, and then come to the office. I generally get here at around 8:15, and my bosses arrive at around 9, but I use that interim break to settle in, see my fellow colleagues, have water whilst they have coffee, and then the actual work starts. You never really know what your day is going to look like when you get to the office. Every day is a surprise. No 2 days are the same. Sometimes I will have to go to court. I'll also have to prepare agreements or resolutions. It really differs. Sometimes you're just in consultations all day. You might be in a negotiation, or on really special days, you'll have a client lunch or a signing lunch, and those are really fun. And then you get lunch with your friends again, and then you start all over again in the afternoon. Sometimes you'll get out of the office at around 5. Many times you'll get out of the office a little later than that because the work is there to be done.
So I don't think any day is the same. I'm involved in a very litigious team, so my tasks vary. For example, some days I'll be issuing a lot on court online. Other days I'll be going to court to follow up on various things such as getting dates. Some days, if we're having consultations, I'll sit in on consultations with clients and counsel. When I do get asked to draft, it's normally legal opinions. I have drafted an AOD this year, but drafting experience, I think you experience more in your commercial year, not in your litigation year. But yeah, I think all your days differ depending on your week, so yeah.
Okay, I want to say there is no such thing as a typical day in the life of a CA, but most days consist of either drafting agreements, doing research, attending meetings with clients, or just internal meetings. And then as a second year CA, we have a lot of training to do, so in commercial matters, which we do very often. My goal every day is to make sure that I get the important stuff done in the morning so that I have ultimate focus time, and then the rest of the afternoon provides me with some flexibility if I need to do last minute research or finalize an agreement or proofread something for a director. So yeah, no typical day, but most importantly is plan for that no typical day.
I think one of the most challenging aspects about being a CA has been the jump from being a student to being a professional in the working world. I've had quite an adjustment in terms of creating and setting boundaries with my colleagues, working with different personalities, people who come from different backgrounds, and receiving instructions from people who have different working styles. I think that my communication style has changed drastically from the way that I verbally communicate to the way I communicate in writing, the way that I articulate my thoughts. I love the fact that we are given a lot of space to grow, and Werksmans provides training and guidance in terms of career coaching, as well as having mentorship programs with our directors. So I feel that all the challenges we do have are a little bit easier to navigate.
I think the most challenging thing that I've encountered being a CA is just the switch from the university mentality to actually being an employee of a company and working for people. In university, you're there to learn a lot. You're also here to learn, but you have to produce product that goes out to clients, and the environment is completely different. The pressures are a lot more intense, and there are deadlines to chase. It's not like an assignment deadline where if you don't meet it, you get 10% less. Here, if you don't meet the deadline, there are real life consequences for people. It's a mentality thing that requires a lot of adjustment, and it's not very easy to overcome the challenges that you face, but you get into it and it gets better over time, but it's still not easy.
So there are two things that I found challenging. So the first is at university you learn a lot of theory, but in practice it's different. So for example, let's take civil procedure. You thought you issue and then you serve, but it's not as easy as just issuing and serving. There's a lot of challenges that you might find. So I think patience is a key. You always got to keep on trying. You can't get demotivated. So that's the first thing. Things aren't as easy as what it seems in theory. And then secondly, I think is the hours. So I was an afternoon person, waking up at like 11, but now obviously you have to wake up earlier. So I think that was initially a bit of a challenge, but your body adapts. So yeah, those are the two things.
Life as a CA can sometimes be challenging. It might be your first job, you might have done something else before that, but ultimately make sure that you work efficiently. Don't take too much time if you're doing something. If you get stuck halfway, rather ask for help from an associate or even your director, but make sure that you plan properly in what you do. And yeah, don't forget that slow and steady also wins the race. So rather make sure that you understand what you do, you plan properly, and you execute it well.